Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to week 8 of NWO matchup. This is 49er George. I have a great matchup for you this evening. It is a Big 12 matchup between the Cincinnati Bearcats and Bearcats and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa Hawkeyes come in with a balanced offensive attack, equal number of passes to equal number of rushes, and Bo Nose leading the way on the ground. And of course, Brad Banks, the reliable Brad Banks, has taken every snap under the center all season long. Looking to right the ship after last week against Miami. And the Bearcats come in having played 3 different players at quarterback. But of course, the one with the most success has been, what's that boy's name? I had it in my notes here. Can't really find my notes right now. Evan Prater. Appreciate that. Oh, I guess I'm welcomed by somebody else also. Welcome on else. What else you got to say? All right, you must be double high then. Thanks for coming on in. Yeah, so we're going to see Evan Prater. He definitely got the job done last week in the victory. At the beginning of the year, they went with the young gun, Joe Burrow. He had a little bit more of a strong arm approach to the game, but with too many turnovers, Prater was able to come back, and Prater was a key player for him last year, reaching the national title game.
I think, like you said, Joe Burrow has the stronger arm, so obviously that entices everybody. He's a younger talent, so you want to get him play time. But Evan Prater, every time he steps on the field, he makes plays.
Yeah, and he's going to be making plays to 2 men more than anyone else. Number 1 is going to be Cincy Bowen, jack of all trades. He'll line up as quarterback, wide receiver, and leads the team in big plays and touchdowns, touchdown receptions, and overall receptions. Big playmaker over there, Cincy Bowen. Cincinnati not able to return the kick. That's blasted out of the end zone by the senior kicker. And I've just gotten word from the recruiters over here in Iowa that they got a freshman kicker coming in next season to replace this boot of a leg that we have here today. Special teams advantage definitely in Iowa's favor if it comes down to a kicking game.
Ooga. That's one thing I know. A few of the teams around here, they got some really strong leg kickers.
Really helps when most of your kickoffs are touchbacks. We're going to see Matthews right here in the backfield. He averages 7 yards a carry. Can't really get started on that side. That side of the Iowa defense is pretty tough. Oh, that's Justin. Oh, no, that's Sean Matthews, yeah.
Yeah, Sean Matthews is a guy that I love seeing getting touches every single week, but he's got his hands cut out for him today. Iowa's defense, I mean, they're the 10th ranked team in the nation. That's for a reason. This defense, especially that rush defense, they're stout.
Yeah, that left end with the star underneath his feet. Definitely a playmaker. Leads Iowa with 3 sacks. Tackles for loss as well. Prater's coming out in 4 wides right here. Matthews in the backfield. Looks like a screen pass. Able to get a block and then 5-yard reception there.
One thing about Cincy, they're going to mix it up. They're going to get the screen game involved. Seems early on in the games, they like to do the short running, ground and pound, and then they seem to open it up with the deep passes as the game goes on. So.
Yeah, Cincinnati definitely has another receiving threat in Will Pauling. He's flanked out to the far left there in that bunch trip set there over on the left. And now there's an adjustment made there from Prater. Looked for Pauling right away, but settles for the short route, and that's enough for 9-yard gain to Tyler Scott. First down.
Yeah, had a way to move the chains right there. That's something you're going to want to key on against Iowa because you know they're going to want to come out, ground and pound the ball, chew up the clock as much as they can. You're lucky to get 10 possessions in this game. It's going to be a long, drawn, pounded out game. So you got to get all your first downs, score every possession.
Yeah, Iowa coming with a balanced offense that focuses on ball control. Going to eat a little bit of the clock as well. And this Iowa defense, although that's a 10-yard run by Matthews, and that's a little bit above his average. He averages about 7.6 a carry. Not gotten quite the handoffs, we'd like to see, but very effective run there on first down.
John Matthews has been doing it most of the season when he gets the chance.
3 wides to the right. Bowen with the star underneath his name there. Prater dropping deep back and lofts it way over the top and on target, but that's 9 Lou with the pass deflection.
Like you said, that's 9 Lou out there. That's probably one of the hardest guys to throw to in all of the nation right there. Almost came down with the catch, but yeah, that's a guy you don't want to throw to very often.
Yeah, Coach Dublunch definitely has a lot of confidence there, putting 9 Lou on the island there on that backside of the quarterback, and saw his skills there on display. Why? Empty set here though, 2 to the right, 3 to the left. Prater making adjustments, and Isle of Iowa almost lined up there on the line of scrimmage. 3rd and inches, and Prater's just going to tuck that and run, gain 4, and moves the sticks. Heads up play there.
Yeah, one thing, like I said, you're going to want to continue to move the chains every time you can. They're doing a good job so far. You're going to want to pound it out and just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, Iowa has one of the stingier defenses in the league. We know that has a lot to do with ball control, but they do give up far less yards and points than most other clubs in the NWO. And Cincy has one of the best passing offenses, but hasn't been as balanced as Iowa. Matthews is going to take that in the backfield, and it looks like a screen pass to the right that time. This one a little less effective than his first one. That's 2 catches now for 4 yards with a -1 loss.
One thing Iowa's really good at is just their all-around zone defense. I notice a lot of teams like to run man coverage, most of the times. Iowa, they like to run a lot of zone coverage. So, screens like that, they're going to be hard to get off. Jimmy's got that zone on lock.
Yeah, so far it's locked up. We'll see if something else can unlock it a little bit later in this matchup here. We're still only in the first quarter. This is Big 12. This one does count on the record books. Oh, and we got pressure right there. Looks like he sent somebody else there. That man's assignment. Thomas, number 26. Brad Thomas there. Bringing us to 3rd and 20.
Brad Thomas came off the edge like a monster. What position is that guy? I know he's an impact player, but that dude came off the line like he's a defensive back.
Definitely showed some explosion there. Looks like he is a safety, I think.
What's that safety from the Seahawks? Jamal Adams?
Jamal Adams with the big hitter.
That's that Jamal Adams type of play right there, rushing from the outside.
He definitely closes the window quick. 3rd and 20. What do we really call here for Cincinnati, right? Well, we're going to go with an empty set. Prater back in the backfield, making a couple adjustments. Iowa trying to get the few members in the crowd that came to see them pumped up. Prater drops back, takes a few steps to the left, throws it into coverage. There's that zone coverage there, and they do the job there. That's Jay Higgins that time.
Like I said, one thing Iowa's good at is that zone coverage. Most of the times when defenses run zone, you can find those weak spots in between the zones. But these Iowa boys, man, they know what they're doing. They stay in position.
Yeah, one of the stingier defenses in the league. Just looking at how many points they've allowed all season, it's, I think, the 2nd lowest in the league. And some of that has to do with the ball control offense that they sort of have, kind of shortening the games on offense. But the defense also has to be given credit, too, for just stopping them when they need to, judging by that win-loss record and the close matchups that they've been able to get. So, big-time special teams play there for Cincinnati, and Iowa's going to start at the 1. I formation, 2 tight end set, 1 wide receiver right. Bo Nose gets the handoff up the middle, and he's going to get a gain of 1. He's averaging about 5 on the season, 5 per carry, that is. Just about 101 rushes on the season. Punched it in for about 4 touchdowns. What do you think about his game?
I would say this season, him and I want to say Berger are the top 2 running backs for me this season. Bo Nose might not have some of the most explosive plays like some of the other running backs, but you go up against this man one-on-one, and you will find out very quick. You realize that's pretty much their entire offense, but he's still so hard to stop. He's fast, but he's such a strong runner. He's a monster. He's a monster, George.
Yeah, this time single tight end, fullback in the game this time. That's Williams, just ahead of Bo Nose. Bo takes the carry, looks to the left, cuts it back inside, and gains 5 more. Now we're at third and short, 3rd and 4.
Been a slobber knocker so far. This is what we expect from these 2 teams. You expect Jimmy to come out here and ground and pound, hit him with the play action. You expect Cincy to kind of mix it up like they did on that first drive. I'm expecting this game to be just like this. You know, a bunch of jabs, straights throughout the whole game, a couple haymakers here and there, but it's going to be a gritty, grindy one.
This might be a throw here. We haven't seen a throw yet from Brad Banks. He's got 4 wideouts on the field. Well, actually 3, but Leitchi's their leading receiver in terms of catches. And this one's the Leitchi right there.
What?
It's actually Lachey, and that's a 29-yard grab. What a catch there.
Well, Lachey, you're right. Nick Lachey, that boy got me hot 98 degrees. Dear Lord, that man just snatched that on the defender. Like, give me that ball, little baby boy.
Yeah, there was one guy climbing all over his back and one guy kind of in the vicinity in front of him, but he just climbed the ladder, brought it down, secured it, and that is a huge first pass play for Brad Banks. Brad Banks in shotgun this time, Bo Nose on his right hip. Lachey back with his hand in the ground there. This time it's a halfback screen of Bo Nose, and it bounces right off a Cincinnati defender helmet.
Yeah, that looked like pinball right there. The ball was just bouncing and bobbling. That would have been tragic if it would have been in Cincinnati's hands for Iowa right there.
Yeah, I wish the defensive linemen in this game had a little bit more awareness. We'd see more fat guys dance for defensive touchdowns, but we got what we got. Lachey to the left at tight end. Williams in the backfield, lead blocking. And the left tackle sold a little bit on that one. Right end defender on Cincinnati did a great job. No yard gain.
Yeah, that's what you got to do right there for Cincinnati. You've got to stop that run. I mean, you let Bo Nose go, it's going to be a long, long day, George. That's all I got to say. But, hey, George, shout out to the pimps with the raids. I think we got a raid from Chief Doing Debs and Coach Playa. Good call.
Yes, welcome, Raiders and streamers. Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for joining us for a first of a doubleheader tonight. Coach 2 Blunts with the Iowa Hawkeyes and Cincy Bowen, Cincinnati Bearcats. Brad Banks dropping back, 3rd and 10, rolls pocket left. Can't find anything downfield, not going to force it. Is tackled for a sack, and that's going to lead us to 4th and 11. We'll probably see a punt here.
Yeah, better see a punt right here. Dear Lord, George, I don't know if this is what you're expecting, but this is what I expected coming into this game. This is what Jimmy does.
Kind of expected this, but also, interestingly, you know, we haven't really seen a monster catch yet from Cincy. We saw an attempt, but it was deflected by Nine Lou. You know, that was the play of the game so far. Like, could have went one way or the other. Besides that, we just saw that incredible punt down to the 1-yard line. But with the big 3rd down throw from Brad Banks to Lachey, the tight end for that 29-yard gainer, he was able to flip the field position back. So the field position's been flipped already twice in the first quarter.
Yeah, the special teams from both of these players, their punters, are top tier.
Yeah, and we got 4 wideout set here. Shotgun, halfback directly behind him. And this time it's Matthews getting the carry. And 26, number Thomas there for a tackle after a 4-yard gain, though. And Matthews now has 3 rushes for 13 yards.
4 yards right there, you'll take that every single time. But Brad Thomas, this man, it seems to be all over the place for this Iowa defense.
Yeah, made a great play by Iowa earlier, um, tackling the quarterback in the backfield.
Ooh.
Prater able to fit it in between defenders that time. Thomas is one of them, and that's Jules Winfield. That's his first catch of the game, and I haven't called his name this season so far. I don't really have any notes on him, but what'd you see there?
Yeah, I didn't mean to get overexcited right there, but I think I saw what Jimmy saw. Jimmy was just spying. Brad Thomas was spying out there perfect, and Cincy just almost gave him a free cookie.
Yeah, that's 2 free cookies missed now by this Iowa defense. The first one was swatted down on Cincinnati's third down play, but he finds an open receiver with space here with a step back move, gets past 2 defenders and a third and possibly a fourth, and it could be a house call, and it is, showing that speed. Number 5, I don't have a name for him yet, but that is an explosive play and breaks this game wide open, and the home crowd loves it. What'd you see?
I just saw magnificent artwork. Hey, I've been bragging on Brad Thomas, and Brad Thomas just gave up a big one right there. Got beat one-on-one in the man, and then just got left frozen. I don't know if Elsa was out there frozen, but dear Lord, Cincinnati, disgusting.
I know the 2 leading receivers for Cincinnati are Cincy Bowen, who you won't, mistaken for anyone, wears number 15 and has a star underneath his feet. That definitely wasn't him. And then Will Pauling, all of 5'9" and probably 160 pounds soaking wet. That wasn't him either. That was an explosive play by a player that we haven't really seen and maybe haven't scouted as much, but that was an explosive play. Had some shifty moves, picked up some key blocks downfield, and broke this game open.
Yeah, that's one thing we've learned about Cincinnati. They might not have to throw it deep. They can bust it open really quick with one play. And dear Lord, they just did it right there. That was a big crazy play right there, George. I don't know if that'll be the biggest play of the game, but that was pretty bonkers.
Brad Banks hands it off to Bo Nose, and Bo Nose is going to get a good gain on that left side. Blocks develop nicely there and put his shoulders down and ends the play falling forward, and that's a gain of 6.
That's what Bo does. You look at him, and he looks like a track star. This man is a gifted freak out there. Runs like a 4.3 something, but don't mistake him. He will run you over in a hurry.
Yeah, he has deceptive speed and strength. He runs a strong game. Sometimes he gets stronger as these quarters develop. Bruce is in, and he's moving from left to right there. You got one tight end there on the right. Looks like a counter play, and Bo Nose is going to shake off one tackler, and then the second man that gets him, that's not until he gets a first down. Did you like that play?
Yeah, I love that, George. That gets my blood running. That's what we love to see out here in Texas. That ground and pound with a little shimmy shake. I'm telling you, Bo knows him and Berger. No disrespect to Bentley, Mr. Heisman, or anybody else, but them 2 are the ones for me this season.
Got a little bit more meat on the field here with 2 tight ends and a fullback. Bo Nose with his 3rd straight handoff, and this time Cincinnati smelled it out. They had about 3 or 4 tacklers there for him, and that's going to lead to a 2nd and 10. He's getting up a little bit slower.
Yeah, that's also one thing, George, with some of these guys that run really tough and physical. Sometimes that physicality can catch up to you. He shoved off one guy, and then it took about 4 to tackle him right there. So anybody's going to get up slow after that. But it's what Cincinnati has to do. You got to play physical.
Yeah, they absolutely do, because Iowa does have a balanced attack. It's going to run the ball consistently just as much as they pass. And this time it's a pass. It's a play-action pass. And they're going to hit the fullback out of the backfield for a gain of 5. And that's going to get us into 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, and I know you like that, George. Anytime you see the fullback get some love, you know that gets your heart pumping.
Oh, yeah, I love that. I thought he was going to – for a second, I got real excited. I jumped out of my chair. I thought he was going to break that tackle and keep running down the sideline, because that's what I really want to see, but made the consistent play there, and that's just how Jimmy Two Blunts, envisioned it happening. Maybe he was looking for something else downfield, and maybe that was covered. But when you got an outlet pass like the fullback, all reliable there, and he could get 5 for you, make it 3rd and manageable, he's loving that. And, that takes a little bit of pressure off Bo Nose, right? Didn't carry the rock that time, and maybe he's going to be ready for this next one. We're going to see a timeout here from Cincinnati.
Yeah, maybe maybe they saw something they didn't like when they first started coming out. But you're right. Give Bo Nose a little break, and plus, anytime you mix in the play action, keeps the defense honest. That's what Jimmy loves to do.
Yeah, and Brad Banks has just enough athleticism to be able to make that happen effectively. And he's got Lachey, that's his number, or Lachey, 98 degrees, that's his number one target right there. We got two tight end, or we got single tight end, and we got Keegan Johnson here. Keegan Johnson just found just enough space, and Brad Johnson threw that into a nice window.
Yeah, Brad Johnson, one of the stronger arms.
Brad
in the
Banks, I'm sorry.
NCAA.
Brad Banks, my bad.
Yeah, but either way, Brad Banks, one of the stronger arms in the NWO, and Keegan Johnson, fast, athletic player, one of the guys we've been waiting to kind of burst out on the scene since last season, and they're just 1-2 combo right there.
Yeah, definitely stepped into that that Porter Tracy role.
Oh yeah.
He was a NCAA leader, but has gone on to the NFL. Bo knows with the counterplay once again. Left tackle or guard not able to fully secure his block there, but Bo knows shakes that man off. But a couple other tacklers here for Cincinnati ready to rally, and they're trying to protect this lead right here with about 4 minutes left and about the 30-yard line, 2nd and 11.
That's what you got to do if you're Cincinnati. If you don't bring them down with the first guy, you got to make sure you slow them down and then gang tackle after that. I don't know what's going on with Iowa's offense right now. They seem to be missing those first blocks, but Bo keeps seeming to kind of, make a little bit extra out of it. So it's only a matter of time before I think one of these busts real big.
Yeah, and it could be because what Cincinnati's calling on defense. Brad Banks back to pass and a single coverage there. They were out on the island, and you see the user SWAT there, and the coach really loving it. Put on an island, and that's what we got.
Yeah, 100%. That's top tier stick work right there. User SWAT, like you said, one-on-one. I mean, there wasn't really many options for Brad Banks right there, but you live to play another down, 3rd and 11.
And one of the keys for offense on Iowa is to get into the red zone. They have over 90% success rate once they're in the red zone, but getting in there isn't always the easiest thing to do. Brad Banks back to pass, empty backfield. Is going to throw it over the top this time. Might throw a dime there, but we see another SWAT, another one-on-one there by the defense. What did you see, Revamp?
The Cincinnati defense came to play. I know it's their home court. They've been losing a little bit. They might have felt a little bit disrespected. I think last season that was their thing they kind of pride themselves on. But Brad Banks missed one right there.
Missed one, but also would have had a chance. But great coverage there by Cincinnati, and that was kind of the key to that defensive hold. And we see Iowa very characteristically take the 3 points here. They have a ton of confidence in that kicker. He's sealed a victory with the longest kick in the NWO this season. Senior kicker here. This will be a touchback more than likely. He's just got an absolute boot, and Iowa has to be able to get into the red zone to be able to match points for Cincinnati, unless this Iowa defense really steps up here and shuts the door, giving Iowa another chance here before the half.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the key right there. Is this defensive possession? Is Cincy going to be able to hit big, or is Jimmy going to keep it back to that grindy type of game?
And look at that fullback block there. Slowed down Thomas just enough for Matthews to be able to cut outside. And then once he got about 8 yards, spin back move inside, gain of 9 in total. And that's going to set up Cincinnati with a great positive play out of the gate there after that defensive stop.
Cincinnati's kind of clicking right now. Their offense is out there looking good. They're running the ball, throwing the ball. Defense is looking good. I was really going to have to get something going right here to kind of turn the tide before it starts to get out of hand.
Yeah, and we see the fullback there again, once again, right in front of Matthews. Cincy Bowen in motion from right to left. Still going to hand it off to Matthews. Had to make a drastic cut in order to get out of the way from one defender and tackled by another.
Yeah, drastic cut for sure, and that's what I'm talking about right there. Iowa, they made the big play they needed. They I don't know if they necessarily ran commit, but they went to stop the run. They got the pressure they needed. 3rd and 2 is going to be interesting to see what Cincinnati does.
Yeah, same formation. 3rd and 2. Hand off to Matthews. Fullback gets the block this time, and Matthews going to make a little shake before being brought down by a couple tacklers, including Thomas. But not until he gets a first down and fresh set of downs for Cincinnati.
That's what you got to do. You got to keep on moving the chains. The clock is moving. Sean Matthews' legs keep moving. The offensive line is moving. I mean, Cincinnati, you just got to keep it working. I know this is different than what they usually do, but, you know, they're still splashing in their big stuff.
Yeah, 3 straight runs to Matthews, but this time we have 3 wideouts to the far left field side. But it's an extended handoff there. Just a quick swing pass there to Matthews, and he's getting up from the carpet a little bit slow here with 2.5 left to play. 2-yard gain.
Yeah, Matthews is, you know, he's getting up a little slow. The man got the ball 4 times in a row. Might want to give it to somebody else this time around. Don't want to pimp down.
See the tight end and fullback back onto the field. Only 2 wide receivers this time. This is a handoff to Bowen, and Bowen, the left-handed Bowen, throws an absolute dart to possibly the tight end. That might be Kelsey there for a first down.
Yep, and that's what they brought the man in to do originally. They brought him in as a quarterback, and they found out that this man is fast. He can run. He can catch. So they pretty much play him everywhere.
Yeah, right now he's out there at wide receiver again. There's a handoff to Matthews this time, and he's going to find that right side. Fullback completely sells. And Matthews is going to be brought down after a gain of 4. Matthews came in on the day averaging 7 a carry, and he's definitely getting his work today, Revamp.
Yes, what I've been wanting to see a lot more from Cincinnati. It seems like they, like you said, he's averaging 7 a carry. They seem to do this every game. They come out, run the ball really well, and then get away from it.
Yeah, but with the lead that they have right now, perhaps they could stick with it a little bit longer. Got a tight end on the right, that is Kelsey. Bowen next to him in the slot this time. Prater back to pass, and he finds Kelsey. Kelsey kind of leaked out. There wasn't a man around him.
No, that's one of Cincinnati's staple plays right there. When in doubt, throwing out to Kelsey. He does that little out drag, wheel route, and, you know, that's one of Cincy's top plays right there when he needs a first.
Yeah, you got to love it. Just over a minute to play. We got trips left again, empty backfield. There's going to be a quick pass this time. It's going to be a gain of 5 over to the left side. And we're going to see a second timeout, this time from Cincinnati, at about the 26-yard line. Full playbook open?
Yeah, full playbook's open 100%. I'm kind of surprised to see that timeout right there. I didn't know if Cincy was trying to make this the last possession of the half or what.
Got trips to the right, single backfield there. One motioning over from right to left. Maybe checking to see if he's in man or zone coverage there. Sends him back to the right. Now puts Bowen in motion from the slot or out further right to the field side. Prater back to pass. Bails out of the pocket, but still delivers a dot to Cincy Bowen. And that's a late hit, but nonetheless, that's 6.
Yeah, that's 6, all right. That was an absolute laser beam dot from Prater to the one and only Cincy Bowen. I mean, this man has signed more Playgirl issues than any man I know, and that's probably why right there he scores.
That was an interesting possession. Answer back. You know, a great scoring second drive for Cincinnati to take an 11-point lead here. Still gave up a minute of time here for Iowa. And Iowa's got 3 timeouts. They did a good job of holding on to their timeouts, so they get to answer back. But they're going to have to do so quickly, which is a little bit less conventional for them. But still, nonetheless, they definitely showed an ability throughout the season to be able to do that. That one's not returnable. Sorry.
No, you're good. Well, I was just agreeing with what you said. 100%. When they need to get it done in the air, they've shown that they can do it.
Cincinnati with a lot of success defensively today against Iowa. That's a play-action pass, and Brad Banks is going to drop way back, and Keegan Johnson is going to make a one-handed grab at midfield, putting him past into the Bearcats' territory. That was
Yeah,
unbelievable.
we'll see that on Sports Center later, George.
Is that Odell?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. Brad Banks back to pass this time. Breaks one tackler, but there's another one right there. And for a second there, I thought that was 15, but it's 16.
I think that's just one too many play actions right there with the time and the way the game's going. I think Cincinnati kind of keyed in on that one.
Interesting that Iowa didn't take a timeout at that time. Came back to the huddle, called a play, and now they're passing out here. Curls for the girls. Keegan Johnson's open, and he makes one man miss. Can't make the second man miss. What a tackle right there by the Cincinnati defender. Probably holding back a touchdown.
Yeah, great tackle right there. Saved that touchdown for sure. Keegan Johnson, well, I mean, he's absolutely putting on a display right now.
Yeah, he's playing very well, and whoever is guarding him over there on defense is probably going to have to hear a little bit of the coach saying, hey, if you're going to give him that much of a cushion on the curl route, you got to step up and close in on that tackle and not, rely on the safety, because that pulls him away from his own coverage. Empty set here for Iowa. They're sniffing the red zone. If they can get into the red zone, they have a high success rate. 30 seconds left in this half. Brad Banks finds Keegan Johnson once again. And the defensive coordinator for head coach for Cincinnati Bearcats a little bit upset by that one.
I mean, I'm sure he's upset at his defender. He's absolutely getting torched out there.
Yeah, Keegan Johnson really starting to rack these numbers up. And Brad Banks continues to drop back and throw. Oh, my God. What? I thought he had dropped it in the bucket there. That is not reviewable in user versus user online games. I would like to see a replay of that, but that's not possible here in NCAA 14 college football revamped. Looked like a dot. What did you think of the pass?
That was definitely a dot. I thought that was a touchdown 100%.
Could the receiver have done a little bit more with his feet to perhaps be successful on that?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, it could be that Keegan's still a little young.
Brad Banks stepping way back to get these out. And that one is not going to be returnable either, and that is an interception. Very uncharacteristic of Iowa. They do not have many of these. I was looking it up pregame revamp, and they are 93% successful in the red zone. And a lot of them, they do take field goals. I think they have 4 red zone field goals, but they generally don't force passes and have turnovers in the red zone. And that's a very, very rare sight that you'll see from Iowa. And a huge play from Cincinnati, and they're attempting another one. They have a one-on-one matchup there on the right side, and Bowen comes down with it.
Jesus.
That's a big user gain by Cincy Bowen, Playgirl of the Year. 2 times.
I mean, he keeps it up. He's going to pass Shawn Michaels as Playgirl of the Decade because, I mean, this man, this man's gross, George.
Specifically, I heard from the women that he hangs out with that he does keep it up, so.
Hey.
I mean, we got the magazine to prove it, so. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Prater showing no hesitation right there, but that's the second drop pick by the Iowa defense there.
That one hurts if you're Iowa. That one hurts. That's one of your top recruits right there. You know, he's been boosting himself all season, and he just dropped a big one.
Smart play here by Iowa's defense, calling a timeout. Coach is calling a timeout to see if Cincinnati can get frozen here. It looks like he's not going to be frozen, though. Perhaps it looks like that from the from his perspective, and it is going to lead to a miss. So ultimately, it works out. 1 second left, which is negligible. That doesn't really matter, but big miss there, huh?
Yeah, big miss indeed. That kicker is about to get his ass reamed by Cincy Bone when he steps on that sideline.
If this comes down to special teams, Iowa has the advantage. You know, Cincinnati did pin him deep on the 1, but we've seen consistently special teams remarkable plays from Iowa. And, you know, all season long and in this game, you know, the one thing that kind of is, you know, a couple things here. Brad Banks is just going to try to heave one deep here. And we're just going to see him run it, and smartly runs it out of bounds without getting hit. You know, so we got basically a huge play. And Iowa's going to take on Washington Huskies next week. time and date still to be determined, but they're going to be traveling on the road for that. And then Cincinnati's going to have a couple weeks off, and then in week 11 they'll return as they travel to SMU to take on. This is a rematch of the Natty title from last year. But what are your thoughts about the first half, Revamp?
Pretty much exactly what I thought. Slobber knocker of a game. I think the only thing that really separates it right now are turnovers and the two big offensive touchdowns from Cincy. I mean, they had that one crazy, crazy first touchdown, that I don't know if it was like a drag or like a post up the middle that kind of just went a little far. And he ended up busting back, broke two or three guys off, took it all the way to the crib. And then that second one was Cincy Bone catching that deep one right over the defender, scoring. I mean, otherwise, if you're Jimmy, you just keep doing what you're doing. You got to get some more points on the board. But like I said, I think those are the main keys right there. Those two big Cincy offensive plays and then Iowa turnovers.
Yeah, Revamp. What really jumps out to me is those big moments, right? The Bearcats have shown the ability to rip off these big plays, right? And it's unbelievable, right? And that's kind of like sometimes their own medicine. It's like hurts them a little bit. That's when they start to get away from the run game. And Matthews has been successful this season and been successful today, although he hasn't ripped off any big ones. He's still consistently been able to move the ball forward, and just like Bo has. But coming from a deficit now, let's see if Iowa can stick to the game plan and stick to defense and getting the running game going again. And Brad Banks, other than the one that got ricocheted off and then caught for an interception, Brad Banks has thrown a pretty good game. He didn't have any blatant errors. That one interception that happened in the red zone, as unfortunate as it was kind of more like a fluky type of, off a defender. But can't allow another one of those, otherwise you're really behind.
And that one is fluky because he should have had a touchdown on the play before that. We got a riot on these refs.
Refs definitely on the take. We just don't know by who and how much yet.
Golly. And that's that man Bo knows, George. The man Bo knows is an absolute beast. You hand him the ball, he's gonna get his legs churning. I mean, he shows right there 8 yards off the rip. 2nd and 2, making it easy for Iowa. This is what they're gonna need right here. I don't know if we got a pimp in distress here, but can't hear 49er in the booth.
I was muted. My bad. I was just talking to. Trying to get some more coffee over here. I got it successful, and I didn't realize I was on mute. I'm so sorry. So yeah, I was just piggybacking on what you said. Bo knows. Out of that I formation, showing the power there, and Jimmy Two Blunts as coach. Sticking to the game plan there. Not sweating that 11-point lead, and sticking to his game.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to keep doing what you're doing. Like I said, it's really been those turnovers and then the Cincy big plays that are the difference here.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to have to solve on defense for Iowa. As we see another first down, another bow nose run there. Got to watch his pitch count. But good run there out of a 2 tight end set and fullback. Love all that extra weight on the field.
Yeah, that's one thing. I don't think Iowa really cares about pitch count. That's one thing we'll see with these running backs when they hit the league. Probably be good for 2 or 3 years, but they get a lot of carries here in their college days.
We're going to see 2 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right, and Bo Nose hits that counter. And what a great job by the defender out there on the right flank. He pancaked his wide receiver and made the tackle.
Yeah, straight up pancake the wide receiver. Like I said, though, George, I think that's also been a big problem for Iowa all day. They're run blocking. They're just 1 block away sometimes from a really big play.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's the right analysis. Brad Banks stepping out. Got a spy there. Bruce is going to be able to catch the ball, and his defender falls flat on his face. And Bruce is going to run this in for a touchdown, and he's going to be untouched on that play. And that, scoring from your own field position, bringing it now within a 4-point game with an extra point here, unless Jimmy Two Blunts dials up a 2-point conversion here.
That dude is not corn-fed, George. I don't know how fast that kid is, but he looked like he runs about a 4.32. Dear Lord.
Maybe it's corn infused with like something else. Like they put something else in the corn, like I don't know, concentrated or something. You know, that was impressive. That was impressive. You know, not every Iowa game do you get a play like that where he just runs away from the defender. But had a lot of single coverage all day long and kind of made him pay on that play. We got a ball game, folks. Taylor's gonna kick it off, and that's not gonna be returnable. This man averages a touchback just about every kick. He's a senior, and Jimmy Two Blunts has gotten an accurate replacement freshman. He's going to be stepping in next year, so it's always good on the recruiting side of things. And he also has the #1 tight end in the nation that he's sewn up, so no problems to complement Lachey or to replace him. Cincinnati Bearcats in a 2 tight end set here, giving the ball to Sean Matthews. And Sean Matthews is ready to roll on that play if somebody could just get that edge defender. They cannot, and it's a 1-yard loss.
Edge defender came out hot right there, made one hell of a play, George. That's what Iowa wants. They're kind of on a roll to start this half.
Yeah, Iowa has come back. I mean, taking that kickoff, and you know, kind of just showing what they can do on the ground and in the air. And great tackle there, number 5. That's number 5 once again. That's 2 tackles in a row. That time on Bowen, who's a very difficult man to bring down.
Iowa defense flying around like those Hawkeyes are known to do. 3rd and 6. I mean, this is still...
It's the money down.
Yeah, this is still fairly easy for Cincy right here, but Iowa's really going to have to step up right here. This is one of the biggest plays of the game for them.
3rd down, you got to get off the field, and 3rd down, you can't get off the field if you're the offense. Got to continue, get first downs, and Iowa's going to bring some guys to the line, and you got 2 backs in the backfield. Making checks here is Prater. Prater in total command of this offense. He's going to drop back to pass, survey the field. He's going to throw it over the top, and that's going to be caught and then dropped. Wow. And that's going to be a fumble. The ref is saying that he took 2 steps and a football move after the catch, and that is a fumble forced by Iowa, and they're going to recover the ball on their own 29-yard line. Revamp, what do you think about that play?
Absolutely nuts. Iowa needed that, but if that was a catch, Des Bryant's screaming right now. That's all I got to say.
Oh, man. Fact is stranger than fiction. And that's absolutely true. And, man, just like that, we're now witnessing Iowa with possession of the football after just 2 plays and in Cincinnati Bearcats field position. And Bo Knows is pushing the line of scrimmage even further by 4 yards, 2nd and 6, after Iowa just scored 3 plays ago.
Yeah, this half is a completely different start to the way it ended, and Iowa has a chance to really flip it.
Yeah, and they're gaining confidence. But Brad Bakes has been picked off once. Let's see what he could do here. And that's a handoff there to Bo Knows, and he's going to destroy a tackler, and he's in the open field, and nobody's going to grab him. He scores a touchdown, and that's a long one. That's over 40 yards on that one play. He's got to be getting close to 100 today.
I'm telling y'all right now, if y'all don't think Bo Knows is one of the top running backs in the NWO, you're wrong. You're tripping. This man is an absolute monster.
It's quite strange because you see him turn on the speed after breaking that tackle. And most guys, they break a tackle by making a guy miss, but not by actually running him over. He ran that guy over, and he accelerated. Nobody could grab him. This is going to be a short kick, and it's going to be in Bowen's hands. And Bowen showing why he's on magazine covers with a spin move. He's going to bring it up to the 45. Great starting field, or the 35, I'm sorry. Still great starting field position for Cincinnati.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I'm going to go back to what you're saying about Bo running people over. That's what we were saying earlier. He's deceptively fast, and he's deceptively strong. He's a tough runner. He'll run you over.
Prater dropping back to pass, and he's had a good day, folks. He's going to launch this one and in a little bit of coverage, but, throwing it to his, all-American wide receiver there, Cincy Bowen, who also plays quarterback and number one in your hearts. Just not able to bring that down. Had some tight coverage there.
Yeah, great coverage indeed. George, it seems like Cincy's starting to get discouraged with their run game, and they're starting to throw it a lot more.
Can't get discouraged. That was just a wild set of events that just happened, Not really his fault. Dialed up a big play, and he got it. Revamp, you can't get discouraged because basically both teams have had one that was unbelievable, a turnover that was unbelievable, right? Coach Two Blunts on one side says, no way that hit the ground. I want to review it, right, on his interception. And then Bowen on the other side, the coach, he says, no way was that a fumble, That was an incomplete pass, right? And so, we're kind of even, even though the score isn't perfectly even, we're kind of 1-for-1 on both sides now.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
But Bowen with the he's got to have over 100 yards receiving easily.
I see it around.
And that's Matthews in the backfield in the wildcat position. He's going to go off left tackle, and that's a touchdown-saving tackle right there.
Yeah, 100%. Since he's trying to battle back into this game, they were just up, and they're trying to show that they're trying to get back up again. And, Sean Matthews says, let me get back in it. Cincy Bowen, the play before that, Mr. Playgirl himself, all world, probably signed more autographs than any man you could ever think of, especially on titties and all that stuff. But, since he's coming out here trying to, they're doing Wildcat again.
Yeah. We all hide our wives, and we don't let her around him. And that's Matthews with the Wildcat to the right this time, and he's going to get in. And what I noticed right there on that last touchdown was that since he came to the line of scrimmage and snapped the ball really quick, they didn't let Iowa make any pre-snap adjustments, and maybe got him a little bit off guard with that one. And great answer back to Iowa's last score.
Yeah, that's what they needed right there. But I agree with you. They came up quick to the line. I think you're right. They wanted to make sure Iowa couldn't make their adjustments, stay in that Wildcat, catch them off guard, and it worked.
Absolutely. And we're going to see a kickoff here. This one could be returnable, but Keegan Johnson is just going to wave at it. Would have liked to see that man get another play, but that's not his primary job. His primary job is catching footballs from Brad Banks, and he's done a great job of that today. What a matchup we got here. This is a Big 12 matchup, so this one is for most of the marbles. Iowa comes in with a great record, but a 0-0 record in conference play, and Cincinnati is at the tied for top of the division with one conference win so far. So this one really matters. With a win here, Cincinnati can have a 2-0 conference lead, and or they could drop to 1-1, and Iowa could have an unbeaten conference record. Handoff there for 5, and that's the reliable Bo Nose. And not only does he have the speed to get to the outside, but he also has the toughness to run up the middle and get a good gain of 5. I'm sure the defense probably expected it, and it still happened.
Yeah, going back to the conference, though, George, that's one thing I'm kind of wondering. Like, say Jimmy has the overall better record, right? But since he ends up winning, off of conference, how does that work out in the end game? Like, would he still be able to play the winner of the other conference?
Yeah, the two conference winners should be able to play each other, unless the only time the two conference winners don't play each other is if one of them's in the national title game and the other one's not. So if one of them is ranked number 1 or number 2 and the other one's ranked lower, then we'll get perhaps a national title game that includes a conference winner, but we won't get the two conferences to play each other. And that'd be a little bit unfortunate, but we haven't had it yet. in our. I don't think we've had it yet in our dynasty.
What a punt.
Yeah, and we've seen a few of them today. And they become crucial in games like this where there's big plays, but there's also big plays defensively, and some of them, turn over the ball when it would have been in points otherwise. Because anytime you can flip the field position like this, it's really great. And Prater is going to pitch the ball, and Herkitt's going to pick it up, and Herky is going to bring it down to the 3-yard line. And, yeah. Go ahead.
All I got to say is that gave me PTSD, George. That Juice Johnson did that last week. Oklahoma took it for 6. Dear Lord.
I stopped running plays like that just because PTSD. And Bo knows is going to barrel through, but bring it up only to the 1. So for one more play, since he stands stout right there in the middle.
That one still hurts my heart. I tried to forget all about that. Now brought it all back. But, yeah. Right here, this is a tough spot to be in. I was going to want to push it in. They love doing the fullback dive. They love doing that fake fullback to the little sweep out. It's going to be tough to stop them right here if you're Cincy.
Yeah, I was definitely going to try to push their shit in here. Got a fullback, 2 tight ends set. Keegan Johnson over the right. There's not even a man over him. Hand off to the fullback, Williams, and he's going to get in. There was a Cincinnati defender celebrating with his arm in the air, thinking that he had stopped him, but the refs say that he got across the line, and that's going to regain Iowa's lead here, and with an extra point, they're going to be up by a field goal.
Yeah, I think Coach Two Blunts took that referee to the side at halftime and said, "You start calling this game fair, we're going to have a problem." That seemed to go a little bit towards Iowa's side right there instead of Cincy, but hey, they gave him back that one that they should have had earlier.
And this is the kind of game where it feels like walking through a landmine field. Like any play could blow up on you. It's like these plays are just kind of teams getting momentum, getting going, and then big play happens, and it's like, whoa.
EA snuck in, for sure.
Keeping us on the edge of our seat in this one. So Cincinnati's been able to probably gain more yardage than Iowa this game just based off of the big plays here. But Prater going to have to do it again and face this, go right into the teeth of the Iowa defense here. He's got a halfback Matthews left of him. He's going to drop back 5 more, and release it right before getting nailed. Wow. And he puts it on the spot, and Bowen has an uncanny, like a real ability to just go up and grab it.
I don't even know what to say anymore, George. This man, Cincy Bowen, is...
Sexy.
Sexy as fuck, 100%. This man is the most dynamic player in the fucking league, period, bar none.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean...
And he's got a 12-incher.
I mean, anytime you got the cucumber there, that eggplant, man. And that's going to be a great counter run, picking up a couple big blocks there. And that's going to be a gain of 9. That might be the last play of the third quarter here. And Cincinnati definitely threatening now in the red zone of Iowa. Iowa trying to get their act together and figuring out what are they going to do about Bowen. Bowen has had some monster receptions, and they are user catches, and he is just showing an ability to just track and locate the ball, and his timing, and he's just bringing it down, and he's just keeping his team here in the fight.
Yeah, 100%. I think some of the best wide receivers, though, are once quarterbacks, and Bowen's proven it.
Wow, that's a good call there. We're going to see that counterplay again to the left of Matthews, but Iowa put an extra defender out there.
Yeah, that's one thing Iowa's not going to give up on is that tenacious defense. Cincinnati, you know, they're known for their flash. They're going to throw it 100%, but Iowa's known for that tenacity, that ferocious defense. Is pretty much my game versus your game, and Iowa won on that one.
Yeah, and everything is getting super intense now. You could just feel it with the clock winding down. You know, every possession's at a premium. Positive plays are at a premium. We see Matthews right there next to Prater. Prater making an adjustment to the right, looking right, throwing right. And that's broken up by Brad Thomas again. Brad Thomas shows up right when he needs to, number 26, breaking up that third and short. That was a little bit of a rainbow of a pass, huh?
100% floater. I don't know who was out there throwing it. I don't know if that was, Baby Arm McGee out there, but he gave Brad Thomas, the super stud out there, enough time to get there. He made the play. He made up for that big one he gave earlier, and looks like Cincy's about to tie it as long as they don't boof this kick.
And this is actually what Coach Bowen has preached all season long, but he is now following through on his own words. He's following through with action on his own words right here. Taking a red zone possession and kicking 3. Smart play there. He always says take the points, but a lot of times since his team has been able to pull off some miracles, sometimes he's been going for it on 4th down. Took the points there, tied up this ball game. Plenty of time left. Short kick here. Keegan Johnson going to kneel it about 3 yards deep. Your thoughts, Revamp?
Interesting to see Keegan kneel it right there. A player with that kind of athleticism, you think he might try to risk it, bring it out, 24-24, try to make a big play. But, hey, they're trying to save him for this drive.
Yeah, and Brad Banks is warmed up there. Bo Nose on his left hip. Johnson out there. Banks throwing it into coverage. Lachey went up for it. Couldn't come down with it.
Yeah, Brad Banks, that was a missile right there. I don't know how he even got that into that window. Lachey, 98 degrees. I thought he might come down with that. We both probably
had one earlier.
Yeah, he's got them glue hands, but didn't get it that time.
Had that huge one for 29 yards on their very first possession, very first pass for Brad Banks. Brad Banks going to hand off this time to Bo Nose, and Bo Nose is wiggling up the middle. And he's rushed for 100 yards. And maybe none of them bigger than that one, besides maybe that huge touchdown that he ripped off earlier where he was just a X-Men. But this one, 32 on this one, and this is very manageable now for Iowa. Iowa on 1st down, interestingly, didn't hand off to Bo Nose. They kind of went up to the top there for Lachey and almost came down with it, but gave it to Bo Nose on that one, gained 8. And now the whole playbook's open, and that's just what you need here, and where these possessions are now at a premium.
Yeah, they're going to have to get this 3rd and 2.
We see Lachey on the right, fullback lead, halfback lead here, fullback leading, and Bo Nose, north-south runner on that one.
Yeah, easy money, George. I mean, yeah. Bo Nose, I don't know what this man bench presses. He squats, I don't know. He's definitely a workout fiend.
Yeah.
Monster.
Coach has a lot of confidence in him, and, honestly, the Iowa O-line pushed the line of scrimmage right there, Revamp.
They sure do.
Play action this time to Bo Nose. Going to try to hit Lachey, and the defender had a chance for it. Lachey had a chance for it, but they both kind of bumped into each other. Incidental contact is what the refs are saying, and we're going to live to a 2nd and 10. No flag either way, offense or defense. I'm sure both coaches right now are in the ref's ear.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not going to lie. If you watch the play live, it looks like it was defensive pass interference. You watch the replay, the defender was coming in hot to pick it. Lachey, that man's got some great awareness, was able to just knock the defender off his route just a little. Like you said, I guess it was just even contest. They didn't throw the flag for either.
Great block. I mean, I think this Iowa offensive line is really heating up there. Fullback didn't sell that time. He got a great block right there on the left end. And Bo Nose set that up perfectly. The vision, the knowing when to attack the defense. And if it wasn't for, one tackler tackling there, he would have ripped off a huge one. But nonetheless, bringing it over into Bearcat territory here. 1st down, 5 minutes left to play, and Cincinnati starting to sneak up towards the line. Brad Banks Jr. hands it off to Williams on a counter play. So giving Bo a little bit of a breather there as Williams comes in and is able to pick up 2 out of a 4-wide set.
Yeah, like you said, probably giving Poe a little bit of a breather. This man's an absolute monster. He's been carrying the load. He hasn't been getting that many great blocks. Recently, he has, though. He's been carrying it.
Yeah, Brad Banks with the drop back to pass, and that one almost picked off. Had two defenders in the area. One defender really blanketed coverage on him and still tried to get it over the top, but didn't quite get enough air under it, right?
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't, obviously, yeah, not enough air, but that's risky. That's one of those tight butthole kind of throws. Cincinnati's defense is known to swarm to those deep passes, and you know the way Bo's been running it. I mean, I feel like you keep feeding them.
Yeah, if Cincinnati would have picked it off there, then that would have put a lot of pressure on Iowa's defense. But they got a third down play here, one more attempt, and they're going to throw curls for the girls here, and Johnson's going to come up with that one. That's a first down. Yeah.
I think we've called his name probably more this game than we have all season. Like I said early, this is a young buck that we were waiting for, you know, to explode. You said Tracy Porter's been the guy. He was the guy. Now he's gone. Looks like Keegan's the guy now.
Yeah, and Brad Banks is really starting to settle in here, pick his targets. I don't even see Bo Nose on the field right now. We got an empty set, 5 wideouts here. Brad Banks on first down delivers another curl for the girls, and Keegan Johnson able to make his man miss twice on that one. Scampers into the end zone, giving Iowa a 6-point lead, and with an extra point should be up 7. But with 4 minutes left to play, Cincinnati's going to have another offensive possession, plenty of time, and 3 timeouts.
All I got to say is, what a game, George. This is exactly what I came to see here tonight, Pim. I mean, first half was kind of slow. What did it end up being? 14-3. The second half has been absolutely bonkers.
Look at the total yardage revamp.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And 800.
And you never know what to expect. But this one's returnable. This is a very rare returnable kick. And that is...
Oh, my.
And that's the 3rd turnover for Cincinnati today. And Coach Bowen can't believe it. Iowa is going to reclaim the ball in their position at the 26-yard line with 4 minutes left to play. Their defense has to go right back out on the field.
Man,
I think he hasn't gotten a return all day, and when he finally got it, he didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, all I got to say is when Homeboy gets back to practice, I don't know if they do it the same way in Cincy as they do in Texas, but
Coach is going to fuck him up.
We got that 100-degree plus weather. We got that concrete field football. You're going to run with that bitch duct tape to both hands for, you know, until practice is over, until you can learn to never drop my damn ball again.
Yeah, I think they're ordering the code red tonight. Going to go to the fullback side here. I formation, Bo Nose. Oh, reliable to getting there another first down here. About 3.5 left to play. If you're Cincy, might start thinking about timeouts. But then again, you're already down 7. And Iowa's super threatening right here. Hard to overcome 3 turnovers on the day, especially the kind of turnovers that we've had today. These turnovers have been really, really crazy. That's 2 fumbles that we've seen today that have really cost Cincinnati.
And not just any 2 fumbles, George. They're out of the norm type of fumbles.
And I think it's a 3rd one if you include that pitch play.
Oh, wow.
And Keegan Johnson he's an Avenger.
Yeah. This man looking like Iron Man right now. This boy got the jetpack and all that shit.
Holy shit. Caught that one. Took 2 monstrous hits. And still able to come down with it. The only good thing about this situation is that Iowa scored quick, and Cincinnati's going to be able to have a possession here with 3 minutes left and still have all 3 timeouts. But that's a difficult position to be in when you're down 14 in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, tough. Right here, you might as well just not even return it. Your confidence shot after that last one.
Yeah, 3 fumbles today from Cincinnati. So this is back-to-back weeks where Cincinnati has come in and Prater's looked good, right? Prater did have a fumble on a pitch play here, which get kind of messy sometimes, but he didn't throw a pick. Hasn't thrown a pick yet today. Hadn't thrown a pick last week. So, you know, came in and kept the ball really clean here, other than that one pitch play, and He's got a lot of pressure on his back here. Able to get away from 2 defenders, but there's a third out there. Looks like there's so many defenders here right around Prater, and couldn't find anybody downfield.
Yeah, I was playing that pass protection defense. I know what Cincinnati's got to do, but you know, if anybody can do it, it's Cincy and Prater.
How many more times can they do it? They've already done it a bunch of times tonight. We've seen unbelievable plays from Cincinnati tonight. There's one more. Bowen catching that one with a little bit of wiggle. That's playmate of the century right there. That's Cincy Bowen right there. Yeah, that's Mr. Cucumber himself. They're going to go no huddle tempo up pace here again. Barking out some orders here, changing a little bit at the line. Prater's going to get this one off. Fake the handoff, drop back to pass, trying to find extra space, and just smartly throws that one away, as Iowa their defenders seem to be really keying in on him that time.
Smart play right there. Like you said, everybody was covered. This Iowa defense has really stepped it up this second half for sure. I think Cincinnati, you know, they have 10 points this half so far, and that's not what they need.
Yeah, looking like a different team here in the second half. Both teams, you know, tale of 2 halves. It's just really crazy the way it's working out so far. Trips right, single back, shotgun formation, 2 and 4, 2 minutes 40 seconds. Prater looking, fires downfield right around the goal line, and that's going to be picked off. That's his first interception in 2 weeks, and you know, just trying to make a play right there. You got 2 wide receivers in the vicinity, but somehow the defender is able to come up with it.
Exactly. You got 2 wide receivers, 1 defender. I don't know how that, you know, if you got 2 versus 1, you body that motherfucking cornerback. Nobody catches that.
Yeah, I can't really put that one on Prater too much. Put the ball in the air in a good place and let his guy have a chance to come down with it, and just couldn't make that play there. Iowa's defense really stepping it up here in the second half. Defense went on the road here, and just under 2 minutes to play. They're going to attack the clock a little bit here with Bo Nose. Bo Nose still getting carries, even though there's a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. This defense will really help out next week as Iowa travels to Washington to take on Junior Broncos, who is more upset than anybody else in the NWO at this time.
I heard he's been going longhorn hunting this week.
Oh, God. I'll be there to see it, pimp. No, but good luck to you the rest of the way and everybody else in the NWO. This game gets pretty stressful, but at the end of the day, it should be fun for everybody.
No, you're right, though.
Just want to see something we've never seen before, and sometimes we get it.
Well, you're right. This game can be stressful, but I think the main thing is just to have fun with it. Not to take it too serious at times, because, you know, we're all fucking competitive coaches, players out here. We all want to win, but, you know, just got to have fun with it.
Cincinnati did come in today with one of the most explosive passing games in the nation, and we saw why. Some big plays just like that right there. And in terms of passing yardage, I think Cincinnati might be number 2 in the NWO of the 12 user teams. And you know, today they were a little bit more balanced in the first half. But turnovers all came pretty much from fumbles, so it's just strange the way this game unpacked itself.
Yeah, those 3 turnovers were killer. Or fumbles. Oh, wow. There's Lou.
Yeah, 9 Lou's going to come down with that one. So 9 Lou got tested a couple times today. Might have gotten beat on one, but what sticks out the most is him able to swat one away and then that pick right there. That one's going to seal the deal. And we're going to see a couple kneels here, and we'll be on to a coach interview. And Cincinnati going to be able to take a couple weeks off and then return in week 11 over there against SMU.
That'll be a big one. They
Yeah.
actually were the, I want to say, only team to beat SMU last year. They were the first team to beat them in the NWO period, I think.
Yeah, and I think those are two of the higher scoring teams in the NWO. Of course, we got another team or two that are also putting together a lot of points, but definitely going to be a matchup to see, offense and, maybe a little defense too. Maybe that game pretty even on offense, but whoever makes the play on defense will come out with that victory. This is going to be a final here. We're going to see the final. Iowa, let's see, what's the final here saying? 38, Cincinnati 24. Let's go over to the interviews.
I will say, though, George, before the interviews, I feel like the game was closer than the score is, but that was a slobber knocker.
Oh, it absolutely was. And we should be joined now by Coach Blunts. Coach, Mr. Two Blunts. Congratulations on the victory there. Was that your game plan going into this one? Did you execute it the way you looked to?
In the second half, yeah. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Good call. We're two different teams. First half, we were just bland, flat, no flavor. Lit a fire in the halftime, came out second half, played a lot better. The turning point was that special teams play. That was, hate to see it end like that. The fumble, and then we might still be playing had that not happened. So, great game by Cincinnati. They're a tough team.
Coach, seemed like you got Bo Nose going just about the same time that you got Brad Banks going. Then the defense started to flow and make plays. And what'd you give them in their Gatorade this halftime?
That's a little secret corn recipe. But I think they just fed off each other, momentum, and then just snowballed into each other. Good vibes, good energy, and everybody just clicked. We needed it on the road, tough environment, tough team, conference game, huge win.
Great job, Coach. I'll hand it off to Revamp.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I don't have too many questions. I know you had that one missed touchdown in the corner, but I feel like you got it back and then some from EA off those fumbles. But next week, Pimp, pretty much, I guess we'll go to that. What do you got planned for the big slobber knocker game against you and Broncos?
We got a week off to prepare. He's a new guy, so there's not much film on him. Really good team, really good coach. We'll just prepare and pray for the best.
Well, that's pretty much it for me, Pimp. You played a good game. I know it started off rough, but that second half, like you said, two different teams.
Yeah, it was crazy how different the play was from the first half to the second half.
35 points.
Shout out to Coach Cincy, man. He's a good coach, good team. We're going to head out to Gold Star after the game, get some chili dogs.
Thanks, Coach Two Blunts. Cincy Bowen.
What's going on, guys?
Cincy Bowen, once again, you entertained us with some unbelievable playmaking. I mean, I was trying to get my merch together out here to get that man to sign some more shit, but what happened with the fumbles? What was going on? What are you telling your team during these next 2 weeks? Because you were in the game. I feel like the score doesn't reflect how much you were in the game. Me and my broadcast partner were talking about it.
Yeah, we just got a lot of inexperienced hands out there. A lot of guys see in the field for the first year, and yeah, it's just unfortunately it happened. Iowa. They were who we thought they were, and our special teams let them off the hook. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing you can do about that.
Coach, is it true that these refs were out-of-town hitters, that they weren't actually from the Cincinnati area? They were brought in from I think it was, what was it? Des Moines. I think they came in from Des Moines. Is that true, Coach?
I wouldn't think so, because if you saw that back end touchdown Coach Two Blunts had, they kind of gave me that call there. I mean, it looked like his foot was honestly in, and he didn't get the touchdown there. So, but some of these calls could have been close. Our knee was down on a couple of these fumbles, but the camera will never show it, and they'll never show the replay. But it's just the way it goes. Iowa outplayed us today, in the all actuality of it. A lot of picks, big defenders out there. They look like they look like the Chargers.
Well, Coach, next week you are taking on SMU in a rematch of the national title game that you were in last year, and Prater is going to be at the helm, I'm sure, again. Did well in that game and gets a chance for redemption here in this one. Going to be a conference matchup for you next week. Actually, I'm sorry, 2 weeks. You gotta bye there. It'll be week 11. What's the one thing you're going to tell your team before you step out on that field?
Hold on to the ball.
Yeah, if they do that, this game, that game, drastically different. Good luck the rest of the way, Coach. I'm going to hand you off to Revamp.
Appreciate it.
What's up, Pimp? I mean, like me and George said, the game was closer than the score shows. A lot of unfortunate plays started with that Evan Prater toss. That Juice Johnson toss that you never get back, and then that one catch that Des Bryant looking at, probably screaming, thinking that wasn't a catch. But like I said, you played a good game, Pimp. Unfortunate the way it ended. I don't really have too many questions overall. Just, it's one of those things, Pimp. Just got to keep on grinding.
Yeah. That's the good thing about facing Sep, we're having a bad year, but doesn't mean we can't ruin somebody else's year and maybe steal their ranking. So we'll see how it goes. Appreciate you guys calling the call on this late Monday, and we know we got another game after this, so I'm excited to watch some more NWO. Appreciate you guys, GG to Jimmy, GG's to George, and Revamp, all y'all for calling the game, playing the game. Love you guys. Love you, chat. Appreciate it.
Sir, love y'all pimps as well, man. Great game.
Yeah, the two coaches absolutely killed it tonight in the first of the two matches. We're going to jump into a starting soon screen for a little bit, show you some recap of scores that happened last week, show you some of the games from next week and some of the games that are going to be played later on this week. So we're going to hit you with that BRB, guys. Check out that content as we get the other coaches all set up and get to the broadcast team out there. Revamp, you're a GOAT. Thank you. I appreciate you being in here with me on this one. Did you have fun, man?
It's always a good time, Pimp. I think this is actually the first one we've called together.
I loved it, man. We got to do more of it, and thank you once again. All right, NWO, you guys chill, veg out. We'll be right back. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for helping us out on that break. We got two goats right now going at it. Oh, looks like we had to jump out. Jump out. All right. Coaches are figuring something out, and they're going to jump out and jump back in. I am joined in the booth this time by Danny Snossages. Danny Snossages, how you feeling tonight?
Absolutely fantastic. We got a really interesting matchup here. I was extremely excited to call this game in particular, and I'm just, you know, as it's going and as it's building up, my nerves are just getting even more tingly, you know?
Yeah, and what we're going to see today is some big plays from Oklahoma, potentially, and we're going to see some smart gameplay from Michigan.
Yeah, you said it exactly right. That's right on the head, the nail on the head right there, George. Perfect.
Yeah, so last time, first game of the doubleheader was a conference game, right? So it's like both teams really fighting tooth and nail. This one's got a little bit different vibe to it. Of course, nobody wants to lose, and Oklahoma has to protect. They're very high ranking. They're really high ranked. They're trying to contend for a national title and an NWO championship for the first year, and Michigan alternatively is in the top 25 still.
Yeah, really a tale of two different stories, right? I mean, you see Oklahoma, who's having an incredible bounce back year. Everyone's playing better, coaching better play calling. Everything is just absolutely stunning. And on the other side, you got a first-year coach in Fam with Michigan, and he's so technical when it comes to his game plan, his play calling, and it's just an interesting matchup. And as we all know, matchups, they make everything, right? Like the differences in coaches just makes everything more and more fun.
Yeah, and what's going to be a lot of fun is this call, because I get into the mindset of an offensive lineman, and in getting into the details and the data here right before this broadcast, I found out a couple things. Miami hasn't given up a sack all season. And how does that make a team get ahead? If one of these offensive lines establish themselves, what kind of thing will that do for these offenses?
Well, the beauty about it, right, and the nuances of offensive line play, it's extremely fun in this game because on one side you have a quarterback who likes to break the pocket. In Caleb Williams, he likes to, use his legs to extend plays. If your O-line is ready for it, which I'm sure OU's O-line is, it makes defensive rushing way easier, right? And on the other side, you have a downhill runner with a very quick decision-making quarterback in Michigan, and it's totally flip side for their offensive line. But these offensive lines are going to be the key factor in this game because we're going to see who can protect their quarterback the most.
Yeah, and the quarterbacks are going to be key figures as well, being set up by those offensive lines. And, if your offensive line does well, then your quarterback can really shine. Kind of like Caleb Williams, that season that he's putting together. Yes, he's on a Heisman run. He's a Heisman Trophy potential winner here. And he's leading the NWO in passing yards, almost the entire country in passing yards, scoring a lot of touchdowns, and also the number 2 runner on his team in terms of runs and also yardage. Explosive player on offense. What's his game like?
Yeah, he's one of those playmakers that every year in college football, there's one of them, right? Every year there's that player that shows up that's just lighting up the scoreboard, getting all the fans in the stands, and that's exactly what Caleb Williams is. He had a rough year last year, but Coach Panda had really sat him down, and everyone just got better and better, and they eventually became just, tremendous tandem.
Yeah, we're going to go on mute for a second here. All right, coaches, if you guys need to chat, you guys could chat right now. Come off mute. Got it. All right, I'm going to hit the crowd with a BRB screen just so that me and Sausages aren't. All right, guys, we're going to go to a BRB screen, and we'll be right back. All right, looks like we are back here. We got that sorted out. And so actually remarkably quick time for a PS3 reset. And we're going to get this going. This one's in the big house. And as we look at the stats here, Oklahoma putting up 49 a game, third in scoring in the nation. First in yards, over 500 a game. Turn the sound up a little bit here. Oklahoma's going to decide to kick. Oh, and we got a disconnect. Okay. We're going to jump on out here and jump back in. All right, guys. What we're gonna do is we are going to call it right here a broadcast. We're gonna get this game to you either later tonight or tomorrow in a doubleheader. We thank you for your patience, but unfortunately, one of the coaches has lost power, and we're just not able to get this game to you at this time. But if power comes back off of that, coach will let us know, and we'll either get it up tonight or tomorrow. Appreciate you guys. If you stuck through it this far, we know that we'll entertain you the next time we're out here. For Danny, for Fam, who are still in here with me, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next time.